This is Joy News Prime. I am Emefa Apawu. In the next 1 hour, National Communications Authority dragged to the Supreme Court for abuse of discretion over 1,000 people whose SIM cards have been disconnected, even though they have fully registered, join a class action against the authority.
The avenue available to us, we have to be law abiding. We have to use the law. We have to use the courts in trying to get some of these remedies and seeking redress. It is very important. That's the avenue that is available to us.
Unfair, unjust, and unwarranted breach of the fundamental human rights. That's the description of the minority in Parliament, as people who have already registered their SIM cards are disconnected from the network and others struggle to apply the self-service.
They have done it, but they have blocked it. So I'm coming back to come and see the reason why my SIM have been blocked.
Yeah, I've registered already. I registered last year, but they've blocked my SIM and I don't know why, so I'm here.
We have scenes from the chaos and frustration at SIM registration centres here in Accra and Kumasi.
Leave Accra here to Elwak each and every blessed day. Why? Is she paying me my transportation to that place?
Also, government hints there may be no budgetary releases to some ministries and agencies in the third quarter of this year as the finances of the state takes a hit.
Initially, we announced 20% of cut. We had to come back again to announce 10% extra to 30%. Even though we are announcing 20% cut, 30% cut, some of them are cut by 80, 90%. In order to achieve that average you are looking for.
Much later, police begin investigations into the bizarre death of a newly murdered woman at Abeka. Sources close to her family say she was found lying in a pool of blood with a slit throat and a cut on her thighs.
She was killed in a room, dragged into a different room in a compound house. So the body was found in the rival's room actually. The way she died wasn't natural, and yet we need to know how she was murdered or killed. That's it.
And some ministries, departments and agencies will not receive the third quarter budgetary releases for administrative operations due to the financial challenges facing the country. Well, this is according to the Deputy Finance Minister, Dr. John Kumah. Government in the 2022 budget announced a 30% cut in expenditure as part of measures to put the economy back on sound footing. But rising debt, depreciation of the cedi and statutory payment have conspired to rob government of the needed revenue. Speaking to George Riafe on the business edition of PM Express, Dr. John Kumah said government finances are not in the best of shape.
We had to give so many exemptions, and we didn't
like the reduction we pushed so much.
Yeah, we did reduction, we did
it could have come down
so many
0.5.
exemptions. Yeah, some are even, in fact, there are several proposals, and I don't know if this is the forum, but I can assure you that different proposals are coming up, which we are also listening and reviewing, and in time we'll be able to improve that tax handle to give its contribution to our economy. I'm very optimistic about e-levy.
Let's come to the fiscal situation, and some will say that you've announced some cuts, all right. There are some who are still pushing that we could maybe be cutting further to demonstrate government's real commitment to fiscal prudence. What do you say about that?
Yes, fiscal prudence in difficult times is always the only choice we have. And so even though that's why initially we announced 20% of cut, we had to come back again to announce 10% extra to 30%. Maybe we could do more to 50%. But at the end of the day, the rigidity in our budget arrangement makes it difficult to an extent to which we can cut. And even though we are announcing 30% cut, there are certain provisions you can't touch, like your compensation and salary to workers. You cannot touch it. You cannot touch issues to do with your interest payments, which are obligatory. And some of the statutory payments, you can only delay in your payment and release it, but you still have to pay. So at the end of the day, if you look at your revenues coming and the rigidity in the budget, all these announcements of cuttings can only happen in the discretionary expenditure, the goods and services and CAPEX that you can cut. And some of them, even though we are announcing 20% cut, 30% cut, some of them are cut by 80, 90%. Oh, yes.
Interesting.
In order to have, yes, in order to achieve that average you are looking for, because there are some handles you cannot touch. And so even though you are announcing 20% cut of your budget, it means that the discretionary ones that you can cut, you are not actually cutting 20%. You're actually cutting 80%, 90%.
Well, we know that a recent currency performance ranking by Bloomberg classified the cedi as the worst performing currency across the globe after Sri Lanka's rupee. But Dr. John Kumar disagrees, insisting the Ghanaian cedi is the third best performing currency in Africa. That's after Libya and Tunisia.
And conspire to create debts where there are none. Like the
it's not the same with this upon the money that you pay.
Of course
not. These are genuine judgments that they had to pay.
Of course.
Because government went in to cancel contracts that are not supposed to be cancelled.
Well, as long as there are contracts, there will be litigation. Okay, these are facts of life. As long as government continues to give out contracts, there will be non-performance, there will be unsatisfactory outcomes to certain projects, and there will be decisions to terminate at a point. And obviously, you have to deal with judgment. We have never, as a party, disagreed with payment of judgment. We have paid some before. But we have questioned the dubious judgment debts that have been paid. People with no contracts and no obligations of government, they conspire and create that obligation and liability and take public funds and conspire and share it. That is evil, that is illegal, that is what we talk about. But where people genuinely have lost contracts and have gone to court, Attorney General has fought the case. I mean, there are so many judgment debts that this government has fought through the Attorney General, where we have preserved billions of cedis into the public funds. But there are some that are genuinely and legitimately become a liability.
But could we have avoided it? Because this amount of money that has been paid, quite huge.
Well, that one, as a lawyer, I understand that as long as there are contracts, government are giving billions of contracts every year, part of it will become litigated.
Couldn't we have avoided this and also cut down the amount of money we have been paying?
If we can, but I know, especially this government has done a lot through the Attorney General. And if you follow the reports from Attorney General, so many cases. You remember the NDK 1-point-something billion cedis that was fought in court until NDK was rather found liable to pay something to government. We saved over 1 billion cedis from NDK liability, which was started by the previous administration. We stopped it. We're committed to showing that fiscal measures. And look, I've heard all propaganda. They say Ghana cedi is the worst in Africa and all kinds of things. Look, don't believe those propaganda.
What is the reality?
I just returned from Tunisia on a program. And Tunisia is the second largest strong currency in Africa. I mean, Ghana is third, actually, out of the 54 countries.
According to who?
Well, according to any global ranking of currencies that
but it matters whoever is doing that ranking.
No, it's not. No, I'm talking about the strength of currencies in Africa. Is Libya, Diran, followed by Tunisia, the same. They are also into Diran. And then Ghana cedi is the third strongest currency in Africa. You can check it. Okay, globally you can check it. But maybe they were talking about the rate of depreciation and all that kind of thing.
Compared to others in the body.
I just saw what is happening in Nigeria, and they are equally complaining that their naira is not just 400 and something to the dollar, but sometimes it's even 700, depending on where they can't even find the dollar. So this is a global situation. You check the Morocco, which is just after the Ghana cedi. It was DS was about 10 Moroccan. Is it also? I've forgotten the currency, but they are just after Ghana in terms of currency strength. They are also suffering the same depreciation. So it is not just a Ghana situation. It's something that is happening globally, and people should not begin to think that maybe it's as a result of some bad policy or whatever.
Now, away from economic challenges of this country, owners of unregistered SIM cards have begun feeling the pinch as the National Communications Authority rolls out punitive measures, including the blocking of outgoing calls for days. Some people who have registered their SIM cards are also experiencing interruptions. Now, this resulted in chaos at the offices of some telecommunication companies. My colleague Michael Ashale has been out and about. Here's his report.
Chaotic scenes at some SIM card registration centers. Scores of people wait in line under the scorching sun to synchronize their SIM cards with their Ghana cards. Starting Monday, September 5, 2022, the NCA said it would block access to phone calls. People are beginning to feel the pinch as they rush to register their cards.
I'm very mad, seriously. I'm among the first people who registered. For over 2 years now, my card is not being validated. I've been going up and down. When you go to this office, they say go here, go there. And right now, you blocked me from getting access. Why? Why should that happen? Why should that happen? The foundation is not good. The foundation of Ghana card is not good. It's not 2 years now, my brother. I've been going up and down just to get my card validated for 2 years. And all my surprise this morning, my number has been blocked. Fourth reason, I'll leave Accra here to Elwak each and every blessed day. Why? Is she paying me my transportation to that place?
Some of those in the queue say they have fully registered their SIM cards and yet have been blocked.
I can't make a call, but I can receive a call. And if you come here, sometimes they will tell you that the network is gone. And you hear people will be entering and they will be doing it and been going. They have done it, but they have blocked it. So I'm coming back to come and see the reason why my SIM have been blocked. I can't even get access to inside for past 3 days. So today I've jogged up very, very well. Today is my last day. If they can't do it for me, I'll just change my SIM and throw the other SIM away.
Yeah, I've registered already. I registered last year, but they've blocked my SIM and I don't know why, so I'm here. They didn't send me any message.
So how did you find out that your SIM card has been blocked?
I was doing some calls yesterday and I realized it was blocked. I don't know why. It's so frustrating. And now we are here. We are stranded. You can see.
I've registered it. They came to our place at Abofu Presby Church and I registered there. But from yesterday morning, I'm making calls. It doesn't go. So yesterday I came here. And they said the network is slow. So I went home and came this morning. Yes, because I know that I've registered, so that I've just forgotten everything. Yesterday, I was not able to make a call. When I called the call center, they said I have to come and re-register. But I registered mine, I think 14th of January. That I registered it. But I have to come back here again and see the crowd that is here. And that's the only number I'm using to do my business. But I thought here would be easier for me because yesterday the network was bad there. So I thought here would be okay for me. And here is the case. The crowd is too much.
Meanwhile, some persons are cashing in as they have taken up the job to register others at a fee. With an NCA license application, they conveniently register subscribers. Some of the patrons spoke to Joy News. Why did you decide to come to this particular place?
Because when we go to the other places, that place is very crowded. So we choose to come here so that it will be fast for us because some of us, we have exams to write in the next week. So we have to go early so that we can learn something.
So you get to pay rather than going to the main telecommunication office?
Because I can see that the payment is not that much difficult for us to. So it's just kind of 5 cedis than to go to the place that's so much crowded.
Why did you also decide to come to this place and not go to maybe the main MTN or Vodafone office?
I stay around, that's why I chose to come here.
How convenient is this place to you?
We are managing. I prefer to come here, so I'm okay.
I have mobile money and I use it for something special purpose. I don't want to say it here. Yeah, and even because of that, yesterday I had a very big problem with it. Yes, because of that. So I have to. I'm off to work, so I decided to pass here and do it. Since here too is available, I have to do it. Yeah, I don't have to go there because the station where I'm going, the station is right here. So from here I can get a car here to where I'm going. So I have to come here.
With less than 21 days till the end of the exercise, many of those affected by the new raft of sanctions want the process to be made easier and less stressful. For Joy News, Michael Ashale.
We've also been to the Elwak Sports Stadium where some people spend the night because of their Ghana card.
Yeah, 6 o'clock. I started 6 o'clock. And they start this thing at 8:30. And we are here, they don't tell us anything. We are here, they release 3 o'clock, and they say they close. We don't know, we don't understand. And we are asking them, say, what is going on? They will say, go here. We don't know what they are doing. Immediately they see us now. If they will close, they won't tell us anything. Then they say they close. So we have to go home.
Since yesterday I was here, I didn't go home because of this card. I wake up this morning, I was waiting for them. I was here before they even came. We were here, yeah, they came here around 8, getting to 9 that way before they came. And then we were here. Right now, they just said they are coming to do something over here, so they have closed, which is very bad. So they've closed and then they've packed their thing. They didn't even tell us that they are going, or they just say that they are going and then they'll come back. And that's all. It means they've closed. They are not coming back again.
They will ask you to go and come back in 2 weeks, and then they will tell you things have been rectified. And when you come back, it's like you have to go through the same process again. And for me, I don't know how I'm going to retrieve my card because they don't seem to know where the card is. All that they indicate is that they have printed the card is printed, then you cannot find it. Worst of it all, my SIM card is blocked. So I'm asking, is it my fault?
Especially the staff, they are not treating us well. Especially we those seated over there, we sit since morning and then it got to our time and the guy just came and issued out some cards and some of us didn't get and he said that's all. So we asked him, well, what are we going to do about it, and nothing reasonable. So as I'm starting here, I'm so frustrated because Monday is a working day. So I only have today to do what I want to do.
Well, there's a class action as a result. I'll tell you more about it. But first, the minority, they've described the blocking of SIM cards as unfair, unjust and unwarranted, and it's a breach of the fundamental human rights and freedom of people. According to them, the recent chaos and confusion rising from the blockage of SIM cards and people's attempts to complete the registration process would have been prevented had the NCA and the Ministry of Communication allowed the mobile network operators to synchronize their data with the relevant agencies. Well, they've raised concerns in reaction to the challenges associated with the SIM card re-registration and the subsequent blocking of SIM cards at a press conference in Parliament.
And I can say without any iota of doubt that within the last yesterday and today, the country has been hot and awash with complaints. I can say without any doubt that even a member of our committee, a committee on communications, who registered here, has had her SIM blocked in Parliament. So if they can pluck feathers from a tortoise, what would they do when they get a fowl? We wish to call on the NCA through the ministry to immediately cancel these very draconian measures imposed on those who have not registered their cards, and even including those who have registered but currently do not have the opportunity to use their SIM cards. We further call on the government to provide the requisite level of resources, into brackets funding, to enable the NIA to open more offices, recruit more staff, and purchase more materials and equipment needed to accelerate the tempo of the registration exercise. We again reiterate our position that the Ministry of Communication, in the face of these challenges, must exhibit greater flexibility and realism with the current deadlines it is setting by pushing the time frame to the end of the year.
Meanwhile, Deputy Ranking Member on the Communications Committee, Samuel George, has also questioned the procurement process of the self-registration app.
Is quick to want to enforce sanctions on Ghanaians by deadlines. The minister herself set a deadline for herself. She said by the 2nd of August, there will be a She failed to meet that deadline. She failed by 24 days. The app was launched on the 26th of August. When it was launched on the 26th of August, today is the 9th of September. The app is still not uploaded on the Apple Play Store. So if you use an Apple product, you cannot download the app. It is only available on Android, the Google Play Store. So who is punishing her? What is the punishment for her not meeting her own deadline? And even on the on the Google Play Store, when you download the app and pay the money, you are unable to complete the registration. The reason why the NCA is going through this route is because the Minister for Communication wanted to procure an app and not use the NIA's own integration app. So the media must begin to ask, since you are also suffering the consequences, begin to ask the minister what are the details and terms of the procurement she did of that app. Why is she not using the NIA's seamless integration app? Why is she buying her own app? She will tell you it's for free if you ask the questions, but the use of the app is not for free. People are not able to use the app, but their money is being taken. Where is that money being sent? These are questions we must begin to ask of the minister. And like my people say, this one is it's not from Rankin's place, it's from Ningo. Fish that smells, we use hot pepper. Nama and a day.
Well, speaking of the app, I need you to understand a few things because we've been checking and most people have been complaining about the fact that they've been using the app and it's not working. It's imagine that there are two apps and I would want to take you through it so that you can have a proper look at it so that when you see it, you know which app in particular you're using. So this one, which is not supposed to be the official app that has been sanctioned or procured by the Ministry of Communication for you to do that self-service. When you look at it, when you go on Android, this is for the Play Store users. So when you go there, this is the app that shows, at least this one comes up first. So most people tend to download this first. So it's actually for iOS and Play Store users. So this is the Ghana SIM registration app. If you look at it, this one has the Ghana flag logo on the side. That's on the right-hand side. It has 100K downloads. But guess what? This is not the recognized app. This is the fake one. Even though it has 100K downloads, it means that most of us are downloading this particular app and using it for the self-service. Reason why it is not working. This is, however, the official app that is supposed to be used by the Communications Ministry. And if you take a look at it, it has the logo of a SIM card with the red, gold, green, and black star, which is supposed to be the Ghana flag. There, the same spot where you saw the other one, which had the logo, but not the official one. But this one instead, which is supposed to be the official one, has only 50K downloads. So look out for it. At least if they are very similar, at least from the face value, very, very similar. But one differentiating factor should be the logo on the other side, which has the SIM card with the red, gold, green. So once you're downloading this app for the self-service, this is what you ought to look out for. This is the GH SIM self-register. This is the official one that will help you to register your SIM. This one, however, is not recognized, even though it has 100K downloads, because it has just a logo without the SIM card. And it's Ghana SIM registration app. This is not recognized. This is the one you're supposed to be using. At least this is what has been sanctioned by the NCA and the Ministry of Communication for you to do that self-registration service. So just look out for it, that SIM card with the red, gold, green. That's what we're using. And on that score, we know that most of you have said that you've registered, but your SIM cards have been blocked as part of the NCA sanctions, which we are gearing up to the end of September. But we know that already, even though there's a class action being put together by Imani as Vice President, Selom Brantier, already there's a case in the Supreme Court and it's being led by Hip Life Artists or High Life Artists, A+. And already we are in the Supreme Court. He's been speaking to us on the Pulse.
The NIA has engaged many staff to try and fix this situation, which means that she's admitting that the NIA is not being able to meet the demands of the people. So if the NIA cannot provide Ghana cards to people, I, for instance, have registered done my Ghana card. I have a Ghana card. Anytime I try to register, it says my Ghana card is not cannot be validated. I have the place so many times.
A+ also took a swipe at the leadership style of the Communications Minister, Eslo Nsu.
People are put in position. They must. We don't have to always fall on the president and the vice president. The Communications Minister must know this. She must know that we need them to say something. However, she must know everything that we are saying. My understanding of leadership, I think that the Communications Minister has a bit of leadership style can be, I want to choose my words carefully, but it can be described as a bit autocratic. I don't know where she gets that power from, but she must be talked to. You cannot be that autocratic and think that, you see, being strong does not mean being autocratic. You can always be strong, and there's something that I like about Kwame Nkrumah, and there's something I like about Nana Addo. They always look in the law. They will use the law against you. Even though sometimes I say Nana Addo, he's a diplomatic dictator. When boys meet, these are some of the things he said, because he is not going to say, I'm a dictator, I'm going to do what I want outside the law. But he's going to take the law, look into the same law, and use it. And it's not him as a person being a dictator, but he's using the law. And like Mr. Griffith said, the law is very simple. Issued. You have not issued, and you are blaming the same people that you have not been able to issue.
And we're told the case on the numbers for this class action keeps on increasing. Already about 1,000 persons have signed on to that. We'll be following that closely and bring you more. Still to come here on Joy News Prime, police begin investigations into the bizarre death of a newly worded woman at Abeka. Sources close to her family say she was found lying in a pool of blood with a slit throat and a cut on her thighs.
She was killed in a room, dragged into a different room in a compound house. So the body was found in the driver's room, actually. The way she died wasn't natural, and yet we need to know how she was murdered or killed. That's it.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us here on Joy News Prime. Police have begun investigations into the bizarre death of a newly worded woman at Abeka. Sources close to the family say she was found laying in a pool of blood with a slit throat and a cut on her thighs. The family is suspecting foul play and has vowed to delay her burial until police complete investigations. Michael Ashale has more in the following report.
Angry family members and residents of Abeka at the police morgue here in Accra. They are here to prevent the mortal remains of their sister and friend Monira Tomorrow from being buried. According to close relatives, she died on Tuesday, September 6, 2022. Her lifeless body was found in a pool of blood in her marital home with a cut to her throat and her thigh.
Immediately we bury her. You see, we Muslims find that the issue is that our bodies, dead body carry like I can't talk much. It's serious.
The family suspects foul play. Mohammed Samba is her brother.
If you see the way the lady is mutilated, so bad. I had a call around 9 o'clock p.m. that my sister has been stabbed. That was the word stabbed. So I thought I was going to see a body with some small stabbing, but quite unfortunate. It's a different story altogether. She was killed in a room, dragged into a different room in a compound house. So the body was found in the driver's room, actually. The way she died wasn't natural, and yet we need to know how she was murdered or killed. That's it. Why you living in such, I don't know whether you went to the place. For you to live in a society where even if you are beating your son in a room, your neighbor will hear it. So someone to be murdered or killed in that manner and dragged into a different room and nobody tell us anything, and you want us to be buried just immediately after she was. Charlie, we need to sit down properly, look into what went into the killing.
Monira too had been married for less than 2 weeks. She went into the marriage as the second wife. The family of her husband was earlier at the morgue requesting for her remains to bury, but Moniratu's family will not allow that. They want the police to complete autopsy before the body is buried.
Yabano wewu na wewu nunsu no eye nipa eneku. Nipa neku nunsu no enye se nsa eye sekan ye twa ne minute se aboa ponche. Enti se wo besa ye se adentina me buofu a tituru adekunti a me buofu ni san se nipa nya aboa
me pa ban a chew aboafo mu aye na yen hwehwe de okun me nua no enu ane me hawo o ware Sunday ye twem ni 1 week no ware ye.
Joy News is learning Moniratu's husband, together with his first wife, have been arrested and detained by the police. Member of Parliament Yusuf Isaka Jaja is calling for calm.
There is no need to fight. We are all speculating as to who did this barbaric act. We cannot justify it. We are not the security personnel to do that. Until that is done, you can only guess, you can only speculate, you can only allege, you get me. So I'm calling on both families to restrain and to exercise patience. Some of us in this matter will ensure that justice is served, and so there is no need to fight. After all, the person is late.
He's also urging the police to thoroughly investigate the incident.
We are calling on them is to ensure that the culprits are apprehended and are punished according to the law, just to serve as a deterrent. And let me repeat again, if this is not done to the latter, then it's like we will not be surprised to experience such situations again, not just in this community, but the Zongo communities where Muslims are dominant.
Some family members fear the situation, if not properly dealt with, will pave way for incidents of such nature to occur. Moniratu was only 32 years old and was preparing for her next birthday later in September. For Joy News, Michael Ashale.
We're yet to hear from the police on this, but we'll take a quick break and bring you editorial with Arab Kumsin.
Any extension of the process increases their cost. Upon consultation with the industry and in view of the challenges enumerated above, I have very reluctantly decided to grant a final conditional extension. The program will, and I'm choosing my words carefully, the program will be extended to 30th September to end on the anniversary.
That was the Communications Minister, Esla Wusekufo, talking tough. But the reality of the matter is that it would not have been logical not to extend the SIM registration exercise. This is because many Ghanaians at that time had not received their Ghana card. Little has changed regarding this matter. As we speak, many more people still haven't received their Ghana cards, preventing them from registering. And for most of these people, it really is through no fault of theirs. Take, for example, my friend's wife and her sister, who 4 months ago presented their details to the NIA and are still unable to pick up their cards because the officials at their local branch always give them excuses when they show up for it. This is not their doing. Now, on 31st July, the Communications Minister announced an app for self-registration that it would be launched by 2nd August. The minister missed the deadline that she herself set. The application was released on August 26th, more than 20 days beyond the deadline. Now, after the deadline was missed, the minister issued a directive to the telecom companies early this week to restrict services for numbers that have not been re-registered. Well, as a result, many people have had their SIM card services restricted. Even those who are fully registered are unable to make calls.
They have done it, but they have blocked it. So I'm coming back to come and see the reason why my SIM have been blocked.
Yeah, I've registered already. I registered last year, but they've blocked my SIM and I don't know why, so I'm here.
I'm very mad, seriously. I'm among the first people who registered. And right now you've blocked me from getting access. Why? Why should that happen? Why should that happen? The foundation is not good.
I've been searching my mental vocabulary for appropriate words to describe this circumstance, but all I can say is, this is a bitter concoction of blatant incompetence and a dash of arrogance that Ghanaians must swallow. Why is the Ministry of Communications rushing? Why establish deadlines when people lack the primary prerequisite for registration because they don't have Ghana cards?
When I am Yarim Pokura and me quite sky or me phone so Namakwa Duro, Musi Aburokula, you know. Ya friend, quite friend, quite a Missy Emfa Yambira, and I Missy Yambira name Beshe. Yadura say Nipa Yamasa, me whom in Pokurati. Said your Muya and so one yenny, so say we are Yarifo. Me wouldn't she cast the Campogrami Bobusi and to send me sickening in our phone.
Okay, so this is actually a blind woman I've been speaking to. She says she has actually registered her SIM card, but unfortunately, the SIM card has been blocked. She's been here for almost an hour or two.
So some people are genuinely struggling with the system as it is. But it does appear the communications minister is sarcastically relishing the people's discomfort. Is that what it is? Well, the thing is, when you push someone to the wall, when they really believe that they are innocent, they will fight back. And all these restrictions, all of them, it's the last straw for some who have decided to take matters into their own hands and halt what they call the minister's high-handedness. Yes, the citizens are suing the government. But what did the government expect? When you refuse to heed to the people's cries, the people will turn on you. This deadline must be deferred until the National Identification Authority provides the Ghana card to all citizens. If that's the only card that we can use to register, then we must make sure all Ghanaians get the card. Policies are made for people, not the other way around. So authorities should not be rigid in their thinking. You are serving the people and not the other way around. With that said, there's some truth to the assertion that some Ghanaians often leave things to the last minute. Please, if you already have a Ghana card, put an end to this attitude. Go and register. Don't be part of the stubborn academy. We all agree that the rationale behind this is good. It's the deadlines we can't agree on. And given the prevailing circumstances, the only logical thing to do now would be either extending the deadline or not have a deadline at all. Simpliciter. The question, however, is, will government soften their stance or harden their hearts? Ghana is expected to present a thematic action tracker at the Transforming Education Summit in New York this month. The summit aims at bringing together global, national and local education stakeholders and actors through whom it offers an opportunity for inclusive, coordinated actions needed to reverse the impact of global pandemics such as COVID-19. Inputs have already been taken by the Ministry of Education, National Commission for UNESCO, and a convener in collaboration with development partners. Samuel Mbura has more in this report.
Ghana is one of the over 154 countries across the globe who make a commitment to a thematic action track at the Transforming Education Summit in New York this month of September. To facilitate this task, presidents of participating countries appointed national conveners to lead national multi-sectorial consultation meetings, select a thematic action track and develop a commitment statement for the president to deliver during the summit. In Ghana, the Director General of the Institute for Education Planning and Administration, IEPA, at the University of Cape Coast, Dr. Michael Boakye-Yadom, was appointed by the president as the national convener to perform this task. He has had several consultative meetings with all the stakeholders involved and has come out with a commitment in which he announced to the media and called on the citizenry to hold the country or hold the president accountable in the commitment that will be submitted in New York.
At this point, we have used feedback and outcome of the national consultations to develop the two-page national commitment statement which the president will deliver on 19th September at the UN headquarters. That was a key requirement for the national convener, that provide leadership for the national consultations, use the outcome of these national consultations to pre-summit, and then use the outcome again to develop the two-page commitment statement for the president. The two-page commitment statement remains the president's statement representing Ghana, and on the 19th, as he delivers this statement, he will be speaking for Ghana, and he will be making a political commitment to ensure that whatever he says is fulfilled.
The summit provides a unique opportunity to elevate education to the top of the global political agenda and to mobilize action, ambition, solidarity, and solutions to recover pandemic-related learning losses through the 5 thematic action tracks. For Joy News, Samuel Mbura, reporting, Accra.
And the world has lost 5 years of its human development and progress, according to the recent Human Development Report by the United Nations Development Programme. This retrogradation across the globe is a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, the Russian-Ukrainian war, social and economic shifts, climate changes, and the widening gap between the rich and the poor.
Human development has fallen back to its 2016 levels, reversing most of the progress made towards achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. The latest Human Development Report says gender inequality, poverty, and economic disparity remain major causes of our retrogression. Dr. Angela Lusigi is the resident representative Ghana, UNDP.
We also find that for the first time since we started measuring human development in 1990, globally, 9 out of 10 countries have shown a decrease in their levels of human development. That's in 2020 and 2021. This is worrying because it means that we are reversing our trends in human progress and we've lost 5 years of development. Now, I'm happy to say that in Ghana, the human development level stayed constant. So there was no perceptible change between 2020 and 2021. However, there is still a large gap. So inequality means that when you look at the distribution of human progress across the country, and this has come out in the data also from the GSS, that there's a wide disparity. And in fact, it means that the actual human development level is up to 27.5% lower because of this disparity. And there's also disparity when it comes to gender inequality as well.
The United Nations Development Programme has initiated the Innovation, Investment and Insurance Policy, known as the 3I policy, to deal with these challenges.
There is something that we can do to prepare us to live within the current uncertainty and also prepare for a future where there'll be even more uncertainty. And it suggests that there's 3 I's we can look at. Investment. How do we ramp up investment in development, looking at different partners and different strategic collaboration so that we can invest in the things that will help us prepare better for the future. It also talks about ramping up innovation. We know across Ghana there are a lot of innovation. There's a lot of innovation happening. How can we create the ecosystem that supports the kind of innovation that we need to advance agriculture, energy? These are some of the areas where we need more innovation. And the final area is insurance. We know that there is a gap in access to insurance, and insurance is one of the things that can help to support people on the brink of poverty and also to be able to access health and education outcomes.
The role of the media in achieving the 3 I's cannot be overemphasized.
The media is a very powerful partner because, as you see today, you've been able to see the results from the Human Development Index. And this is a time to share those findings with everybody who needs to know what is happening. And I'm very happy that GSS has been part of this discussion because we're looking at not just the national figure, we're looking at what's happening at the subnational level. We're looking at what's happening to different segments of the population. So the media is very important in sharing this information, also sharing the good practices and the areas of intervention.
And that's how we wrap up tonight's edition of Joy News Prime. There's more when you log on to myjoyonline.com. I am Emefa Apawu.